All right, let's talk about something that is, quite literally, the secret backbone of so many Java applications, JDBC. It's the crucial link, the universal translator that lets our apps talk to our databases. And honestly, by the end of this, you'll see why knowing how it works is kind of like having a developer superpower. So, let's set the scene. Imagine you've just built this amazing Java application. It's slick, it's fast, but all the important stuff, all your user data, your product info, the whole shebang is sitting over in a totally separate world, the database. So how in the world do you bridge that gap? How do you get them to talk?
You know, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is with an analogy. So let's think of it like a restaurant. Your Java application, it's a hungry customer sitting at a table. It needs something. It has a very specific request. It's hungry for data. And the database? Well, that's the kitchen. It's this bustling, super organized place where all the raw ingredients, the data, are stored, prepped, and cooked into something useful. But here's the catch. The kitchen has its own rules, its own workflow, and it definitely speaks its own very specific language.
So this is the big problem, right? The customer doesn't just get up and shout their order into the kitchen. I mean, that would be total chaos. There's a process. There has to be a way to make sure the customer's request is perfectly understood by the chefs and fulfilled exactly as ordered. So, what's the missing piece here?
And this is where our hero steps in. We need that essential go-between, a professional who knows the dining room's language and the kitchen's language. We need a waiter. And for us, in the Java universe, that waiter has a name, JDBC. Okay, so what is JDBC, technically? Well, the name says it all. Java Database Connectivity. It's an API, which is a term we hear all the time. But don't let it scare you. An API is just a standard set of rules, a contract, really, that lets two different pieces of software talk to each other. JDBC's job is simple. Let our Java app connect to a database, send it commands, and get the results back. But hey, let's cut through all the jargon. If you remember one thing, remember this. JDBC is the bridge. It's the vital connection. Without it, your application and your database are on two separate islands, just waving at each other across the water, with no way to communicate. It's really that fundamental. So, we have our waiter, but how does it all actually work? What's the play-by-play from the moment our customer decides what they want to the moment the food hits the table? Well, it follows this really clean 5-step workflow. Let's walk through it.
First up, our app, the customer, figures out what it wants. That's our SQL query. It places the order using the JDBC API, which is basically the restaurant's menu. Step 2. That order goes to something called the driver manager. Think of this as the floor manager. Their job is to look at the order and find the perfect waiter for that specific kitchen. Step 3. The specialized JDBC driver, our waiter, takes the order. This is key. They translate the request into the exact dialect that the kitchen understands. Step 4. The database, our kitchen, gets the order and prepares the food. And finally, Step 5. The waiter brings that finished dish, the results, all the way back to the customer's table. Simple as that. Let's just lock in who's who in our little restaurant drama. The JDBC API is the menu. It defines all the possible things you can ask for. The driver manager, that's the floor manager, making sure the right person is on the job. And the JDBC driver, this is the most crucial part, is a specialized waiter. You wouldn't send a waiter who only speaks Italian into a Japanese kitchen, right? It just wouldn't work. Same deal here. You need a specific driver for MySQL, another for Oracle, another for PostgreSQL. Each one knows the exact language of its kitchen.
Okay, so the mechanics make sense. But you might be sitting there thinking, this sounds kind of old school. I mean, don't we have all these fancy, modern frameworks now? And that's a totally fair question. So why is this waiter, JDBC, still such a VIP that every Java developer really needs to understand?
The reason is simple. JDBC is the bedrock. It's the foundation that the entire skyscraper is built on. Because of its waiter model, you can write your Java code once, and if you want to switch from a MySQL to a Postgres database later, you just swap out the driver. That's it. Your main code doesn't change. That is huge. But here's what really matters for you. All those cool modern tools, Spring Boot, Hibernate, you name them, they're just really sophisticated customers. And deep down, they still place their orders through our good old waiter, JDBC. So when you understand this layer, you understand what's actually happening under the hood. It's the difference between just using a tool and knowing how to fix it when something inevitably breaks.
At the end of the day, this whole system, this bridge, is what lets us do the 4 fundamental things that drive almost every application in the world: getting data, adding new data, changing existing data, and getting rid of old data. That's it. That's the core of how we interact with information. So look, If there's just one thing you walk away with today, let it be this. Understanding JDBC isn't just a JAMA history lesson. It's about understanding the fundamental blueprint for how the modern backend really works. You get the whole story, how a request travels through a system, becomes a query, and brings back a result. That pattern is everything.
And that leaves us with a final really interesting question to think about. We've established that JDBC is this incredibly solid, reliable foundation. So what have we, as a community, built on top of it? What are all those amazing, powerful, and sometimes really complex skyscrapers that are resting on this foundation? That's the next chapter of the story, and definitely something to chew on.